Good morning and a very warm welcome to all the people who have assembled here today. So I would like to specifically welcome our Chairman and Managing Director, Dr. K Bhujang Shetty, sir, our CEO, Group Captain S.K. Mittal, sir, Professor Krishnappa, he heads our RDC clinic, and our team of doctors, Dr. Kirti Shetty, Dr. Narayan, Dr. Ashwini, Dr. Hemant, our GM sir, Nyaneshwar Nayak, Dr. M.A. Shankar, he's a nutritionist. And so welcome all of you. And I would like to request Chairman and Managing Director, Dr. K Bhujang Shetty, sir, our CEO, S.K. Mittal, sir, Professor Krishnappa, sir, and Dr. Kirti Shetty to please come on to the podium. So India is said to be the diabetic capital of the world. I mean, diabetes is worrisome because it's a chronic progressive disease and it has got a lot of complications as far as health is concerned. It can lead to various sequelae or complications in other systems of your body, like your eyes, leading to various diseases like retinopathy. You can have kidney issues like nephropathy, you can have neuropathy, and this affects the quality of life long term. Now, the traditional concept has been that if you're a diabetic, you need to remain a diabetic all your life. But the concept that, you have to have diabetic medicines all your life and have to remain diabetic entire life is slowly changing. And today we'll get to know a little more about that. So there is obviously, we have our very own RDC or reversible of diabetes clinic, which is headed by Professor Krishnappa. And so in this world of quick fixes and crash diets, let us listen to a more practical, sustainable solution about reversing diabetes. And it's not just about diabetes, but various other diseases. So we listen to it more from the man himself. I'd like to call upon Dr. K Bhujang Shetty, sir, our Chairman and Managing Director, to talk to us about this concept.
Eldrigu namaskara. Happy to see so many of you all on a Sunday morning. The idea is to have an interactive session this morning. Instead of it being a monologue, I just wanted to interact with people who have been following this kind of diet and their doubts, their questions, the queries, their suggestions we would like to take and see how best we can address these issues. This is first such session we had at Narayana Nethralaya. We started this program over 6 months, maybe the end of last year. Of course, I went through this almost a year and a half back, and having found dramatic, remarkable results, I was shocked with what happened, very much against what I learned in medical college and what I practiced. And then we passed it on to some of my colleagues in Narayana Nethralaya, around 20-25 of them. Not only people who had diabetes, but also who had problem of obesity and overweight. And there itself, each one of them had a positive result, which you could all see. That surprised, and then after one of my interviews went viral, maybe around 8 lakh people have seen that, and people started coming to me and asking me for advice and saying, why don't you help us? So then with that pressure came the idea of starting the reverse diabetic clinic at Narayana Nethralaya. That was maybe somewhere in November, December last year. And so far we have almost seen 2,000 patients have registered for this reversal program. As you have it here, so I thought I'll just give you the numbers before we start this interactive session. Well, we have seen almost 2,000 patients as on date, and on our last review, over 1,000, almost 1,200 people have come for regular follow-ups. And first thing is that weight loss. See, the idea of starting this was diabetic reversal. Weight loss is one of the byproducts, but actually it just happens automatically once you change over to a low carbohydrate diet. And we have, on an average, in these almost 2,200 patients, 2 to 3 kgs per month. Not a small thing. Because I have been trying for the last 10, 15 years to lose 1 kg for the last 10, 15 years. But unfortunately, with all the exercise, with all the, the routine, the yoga that I do every day, I've been doing that for 30, 40 years. I could not lose half a kg. But instead, almost every year I've been gaining half a kg. So much so that till 2 years back, I was 81 kgs. In spite of all my struggle and exercise. Well, but once I went on this low carb, it was not primarily to lose weight. It was primarily to get my diabetes under control first and then reduce the tablets. That was 1.5 years back. I lost about 10, 12 kgs in about 12 months. And here we have it also in our patients, 2 to 3 kgs a month. So we had around 196 patients on insulin at the time of them joining this program. And now 55 of them have totally come off insulin. Insulin is about the first drug that we try to reduce or cut, because it's very short acting and fast acting. And once you are not giving the body much sugar, then and you keep injecting insulin, the tendency to go hypoglycemia is very high. So that's the idea. But it all depends on how well you follow the diet. So if you really go low carb, actually day 1 itself we can cut your insulin by 50%. Day 1. It is more powerful than any of the drugs, including insulin, in reducing your sugars. I must tell this because my own sister was due for cataract surgery 1 year back, and her sugars were above 300 with all the medicines and injections and all that, and there was no way we could get it reduced. Then at one stage, while examining the eye, the retina surgeon says, no sir, now it's an emergency, she's bleeding from some of the vessels in the retina. So we have to get the cataract out and inject the eye with some anti-VEGF. So then I said, there is no way to control. So I called her home. I said, you please come home. You just eat the food that I'm eating, and let's see what happens with the regular medicines. And so you won't believe, within 2 days, her sugars came below 200. And on the 3rd day, we operated on her for cataract and we even gave the injection. This is the power of food. There is no medicine that will lower your insulin, rather sugar, so fast. So now, of course, she's on regular this low carb diet. Her 2nd eye has been operated, but that's how quickly it acts. But this is actually, it is so simple that you really don't need to be a doctor, or you don't need doctor's consultation to go through this process. But for one thing, that is how to reduce your injections and tablets. There you will require medical advice. Otherwise, Each one of you can become a doctor. Each one of you can, try it on yourselves, see the results, then tell your near and dear ones, tell your friends, and it will work magic in every case. So you will become a very, very popular doctor. I'm telling you, people will start coming to your house for advice. This is how beneficial food is. Because this is nothing new. 2500 years ago, the father of medicine, Hippocrates, said, let food be thy medicine. In our own tradition, ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಊಟ ಬಲ್ಲವನಿಗೆ ರೋಗವಿಲ್ಲ ಮಾತು ಬಲ್ಲವನಿಗೆ ಜಗಳವಿಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅದೇ ತತ್ವ ನಾವು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡೋದು. That is the thing that we are following. Food is the best medicine. So when the food is wrong, medicine is of no use. When food is right, medicine is of no need. That's the policy. It's as simple as that. It's no rocket science. It is, I think, common sense. So that's how things happen. And here we have the results in around 2,000 people who have enrolled for this. And those who medicines were reduced, you see almost more than 50% of people, medicines were reduced by around 50% in these few months, 6 months. Some of them maybe just a month old, some of them maybe 2-3 months old. But 50% of their medicines have been reduced in 751 patients. And 253 patients get complete stoppage of medicine. They are on no diabetic medicine and their sugars are under control. This is the magic, this is the miracle that can happen when you just get away from the foods that cause diabetes and take foods that don't increase your blood sugar. It's very, very simple. So this, I'm sure some of you people who have gone through this are here. We thought we'll have a small discussion on that. That's the idea of getting this meeting. I hope to have this meeting regularly, at least once a month, because since we have this being the first and being Sunday, let's see how we can improve the attendance and more people attending it. Because people take diabetes too lightly. Sugar tane ayo ell nodidru ide, it's everywhere. What's so great about it? And it's a painless disease. Painless disease. Andre novilla control ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಾಯ್ತು. Even if it does not go under control, you don't feel it. But it's over a long period of time that it has its effects, showing that it has damaged every organ in your body. That's the problem with sugar. So people, since they don't feel it, they think it's okay to have it. And see, this is what I'm trying to say now, that man took almost millions of years to go from that first stage to this stage. And then see, within actually maybe not 27, in the last 40 years, this is what's happened. That's all because of all these unnatural processed foods that we have been ingesting in the last 40 to 50 years. That what we have gained over a period of millions of years, we have lost it in 50 years. That's what I'm trying to say. The current type of food that we are this thing, mainly concentrating on, of course, it's easy, processed foods. That's why they say we have outsourced our kitchen. Nobody cooks these days. All are very busy. And so we have given it to the industry. They give you processed foods. And the processed foods are very cheap. That's the biggest attraction. Processed foods are very tasty. Processed foods are very addictive. Processed foods are very convenient. And you just have to, give a ring and it will be there in your house within maybe 30 minutes. But then this is the price that you need to pay for eating these processed foods. Mike, hello. So, this is the primary cause for all these modern metabolic diseases, as simple as that. So now we have I'm sure most of you know what you should not eat. That's the most important thing. And then we give you alternatives. Hello? Yes, we are back. Thank you. So before I was just telling you that you may say, well, I'm not a diabetic. Why should I follow this? Although we have called this a diabetic reversal program, that is to, then people will, okay, yes, my diabetes will go. But diabetes is just a manifestation of what is called, one manifestation of what is called modern metabolic diseases. And when you are detected and told that you have diabetes, we feel, no, sir, I have just been detected last year as diabetes. But unfortunately, you have been sick for the last 15 to 20 years before you are declared diabetic. And if you do the right tests, this problem could have been caught much, much early. The devil could have been addressed much, much early. And here it is. In the initial stages, early stage of diabetes, your sugar does not go up. So doctors are always testing your sugars. So as long as the sugar is normal, I'm not a diabetic. So I can eat whatever I want. That's what the general tendency is. But 15 to 20 years before that, your blood insulin goes up. Because the sugar is shooting, the body has the capacity to control it by increasing insulin levels. 100%, 200%, 300% more insulin will be produced by your body just to keep the sugar down. And if you test for sugars at that time, sugar is normal, but body is already struggling. Body is already struggling. That goes on for 5 years. So once there is high insulin, then the cells become insulin resistant. So even though there is more insulin, the cells are not responding well. So that happens for another 5 years. And then you slowly, the sugar starts creeping up. Then they say you're a pre-diabetic. Your HbA1c is 5.6, 5.7, but below 6.5. Doctor still says you're pre-diabetic. Be a little careful. But nevertheless, you think I'm not a diabetic. You continue with your old food habits, and there, ultimately, then 5 years later, you will become a diabetic. I feel when you're diagnosed as diabetic, when your blood sugar is above, usually around 125 or above, or HbA1c is 6.5 or above, that is the last stage, not the first stage. You feel, oh, I'm just now a fresh diabetic, and I don't, from now I'll be careful. You have already reached the last stage. You might have heard of a lot of people having heart issues, bypasses, angioplasty, much before they were diabetes. You have heard of lots of people who during this COVID time who became very sick, who got admitted to hospital, and they say, no, I am not a diabetic. Blood sugars are normal. They became very serious. They went to ICU. Some even passed away. They could be in this pre-diabetic stage. And most of them, because of COVID and COVID stress and treatment, they have been pushed over the edge to be declared diabetic. This is the one disease that is killing more than directly or indirectly. It is the cause for more than 65% of the deaths in the world. More than 65% of the deaths. That's how serious this is. Nobody takes note of this because it is slow poison. We know that in the long run, diabetes will make you blind, diabetes will, you may get Alzheimer's, you may get Parkinsonism, you may get stroke, you may get heart attack, you may get kidney failure. You know it. There are people who have gone ahead of you and who are in your own family, near and dear ones who are going through that. But you being a diabetic, I'm okay, nothing wrong. But it's just a matter of time this happens to you. So what I'm trying to say is that we need to take this very, very seriously and control, not only control, reverse it. As far as, see, the idea today is manage diabetes. Keep it under control and you'll be safe. I'm sorry, you will not be safe. The only way you can be safe is if you can totally get rid of it. And now there is such an easy, simple, cheap way of getting rid of this, just by correcting the food that you are eating. You will see the results for yourself. It's a matter of weeks before you see the results. Your weight will come down, your BP will come down, your blood sugars will come down, your fatty liver will come down, your bad cholesterol will come down, your good cholesterol will go up, your tablets will come down. What more do you want? And some people suddenly say, oh yes, these are all coming down, but it will kill you. I want to know how it's going to kill you. All your parameters are going, including your kidney parameters, will come down. That's what's happened to me. Anyway, that's enough regarding the introduction. Now, let's see. If you all have any specific, because most of you all have been going through this, have any doubts, any questions, kindly come forward. I want a few people with mics. You can keep one or two here and one or two there. Some volunteers to take it along so their questions are heard loud and clear. We have with me, before I go ahead, Dr. Kirti is there. He is the head physician at Narayana Nethralaya, who's treating most of you people, I feel. And we also have Dr. Hemant, Dr. Narayan, and Dr. Ashwini also helping him. Then Professor Krishnappa, Dr. Krishnappa, he's not a medical man. He's a doctorate. And you might be wondering, what is a non-medical person sitting here? He is a person like me who has gone through this journey, reversed his diabetes, and now he's passionate about helping others to revert this. So he has dedicated his life to reversing this. Now he's heading our diabetic reversal program at Narayana Nethralaya. We also have our CEO, Group Captain Mittal, with us. They will also assist me in case some queries they'll be able to answer. Yes, sir. Yeah. Just raise your hand. Somebody will come with the mic, and we'll go forward. Hold it a little closer. Yes, that's a good question. And since that is our field, I'm sure we should address it first. Cataract basically is an aging process. Cataract, that means the eye, the lens in your eye, which is supposed to be crystal clear, starts becoming cloudy, becoming white in color. Just like how our hair from black as we age becomes gray, which is also a natural process. But so also this cataract is a natural process. It's an aging process. But in case you have diabetes, it is scientifically known and proven that you are likely to get the cataract much earlier. And the cataract will progress much faster if you have a diabetic than a non-diabetic. But ultimately, and we want all of you all to live above 100. That's our aim. And if you do, you are likely to get cataract. And anyway, thank God, there is a very simple solution. Just get the lens out. And if it's only a cataract problem with the eye, you will get back your vision like you were doing before. Unless, because of diabetes, your retina is affected. And that is very difficult to treat. So, cataract per se, I will not say that you will not get it at all. You are likely, if your diabetes is not just controlled, but if you are not a diabetic, you are likely to get it little later, and it will progress very slowly. And when it starts disturbing you, we may have to operate. Yes, ma'am. Mic is not working. Hold the mic very close. Hold it very close.
ಡಯಾಬಿಟಿಕ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಡಯಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್, ಬಟ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಸುಸ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪನೇ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಟಾಲರೇಟ್
Yeah, I understand.
Our question is that, she's having thyroid problems, asthma problems, and diabetes that has come, one after the other. They are all called modern metabolic diseases. And for all modern metabolic diseases, just one root cause, that is carbohydrate intolerance, leading to insulin resistance. That causes all these diseases. It starts from obesity or belly fat, then high blood pressure, then diabetes, then you have bad cholesterol, then heart problem, thyroid problems, and maybe even, these allergies, autoimmune diseases, they're all classified under this. So, you may say, the whole problem say, why don't you, get the right diet or, be on the proper diet? Everybody says, no, sir, I'm very strict with my diet. But what is being strict mean? We want you to scientifically drop or leave out what does not suit your body, what a diabetes shouldn't be eating. That is now very clear. Science has proven, what are the diets that spike our blood sugar, spike our blood insulin. Very clear. You can't say, no, sir, I eat very little, but I eat this. That's not the idea. That's why you feel weak. You should give up the bad diet. You should take up the right diet, which we have advised. I don't know if you have taken. And then we are not asking you to eat less. Don't go with half a stomach. Don't be hungry all the time, because that is not sustainable. You have to get away from the bad ones, but eat the right ones. And the principle is, eat when hungry, stop when full, never feel deprived. So eat, and do not eat by the clock. The biggest problem is, 1 ghante aayitu, time for lunch. But am I hungry? You ask yourself. If you are not hungry, why you want to eat it? Don't eat by the clock. Listen to your body. Whenever you feel hungry, you eat, no problem. Don't force it, because then there will be a lot of infighting in your body. So eat when hungry. And all the foods that you are allowed to eat till you feel full. Don't come away with, feeling hungry. That's the policy. But the right food, if you eat, all these problems one by one will reduce. This is what I can assure. Yes. Yeah. Please hold the mic very close to your face, mouth, sir. Hold it close, sir, very close to your mouth. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah, these heart problems and retina problems and obesity and overweight and especially belly fat, they are all pre-diabetic stages. See, the whole problem is, we know that obesity is a very high risk factor for all these problems. So anybody you see overweight, doctors will warn them, friends will warn them, better reduce your weight. There is no doubt that 80% of the people who are obese are metabolically ill. That means the biggest issue is not the fat that is seen, but the fat that is unseen. What do I mean by fat that is unseen? That means fat that is around your viscera, your vessels, inner fat. The fat that is in your liver, fat that's in your pancreas, your heart, in and around your organs, which is not seen. So, but 80% of the people who have especially belly fat or obese definitely have what's called visceral fat, which is very dangerous, which is the root cause for all these problems. And you say that's 5, 10, 15 years earlier to declaring diabetes, that is there. But don't go with the thinking that, look, I'm not overweight. Why should I worry? You must realize that even 40% of normal weight people have what is called visceral fat. They do not have fat outside. They have got fat inside in their viscera, which is not seen. That's why I told you unseen fat is more important than seen fat. So there is a phenomena called atophy. Thin on the outside, fat on the inside. So these are all pre-diabetic stages. But then how to medically detect it? Actually, the best way of detecting is you have to test, instead of testing your blood sugars, you need to test your blood fasting insulin. Insulin invariably very high. Unfortunately, it's not very popular. Not too many doctors advise it. Not too many labs do it. But that is the current thinking, that if you test your insulin, you will know very early if you are a pre-diabetic. And then there itself you start correcting it. And fortunately, as soon as you change your food habits for the better, the body will first remove the fat that is inside, that is a visceral fat, so that you become healthy. Body is a very intelligent mechanism. And later, of course, the outer fat also will go, because in this type of a diet that we suggest, low carb, when the carbohydrate go very low, this body is a hybrid machine. Hybrid machine means it can run on sugars, it can run on fat. There's no doubt on that. On sugars, because we are giving it sugars all the time, sugar does not mean only the table sugar, the sweet thing that we eat. Most important is that there is hidden sugar in all our grains and cereals. Andre, what are the grains? Rice, ragi, wheat, millet, corn. In any form. Can I have oats for breakfast, sir? So suddenly people will come and say oats is good. See, just because it is brown in color, brown bread, brown rice. When you're a diabetic, doctor will say definitely don't eat sugar. White rice, okay, no, don't eat. But whatever, they say brown rice you can eat. It is just a matter of 15-20 minutes, because before that rice is broken down, it goes to your body as glucose. And there you're giving the body sugar. So body is all the time running on sugar. Unfortunately, the official food guideline, even for a diabetic, say you eat 50% of your 50% of your energy from carbohydrates. When you are intolerant to carbohydrate, if you are intolerant to lactose, if you are intolerant to gluten, if you are intolerant to some seafood, will you keep eating it? No, you'll just give it up. You can't. But you're intolerant to carbohydrates and you're eating. That's why you need more tablets. That's why you become more sick. You're following doctor's advice, but you're becoming sicker and sicker every day. That means there's something wrong. So that's why we say you reduce the carbohydrates to less than 10% of your energy. That is the current thinking now, scientific thinking. Then what happens? You're not giving body enough sugar to run. So body will soon, because it's not already ready, learn to use your fats. It'll have to manufacture all those enzymes and cycles. That may take a week or two. It'll start burning fats. And although, see, these sugars, you're eating so much, but when you feel hungry, there is not enough store there, because body cannot store sugars as much. It can store enough sugar in the form of glycogen only for 24 hours. And then you feel hungry, you want to eat more. So what the body does is continuously eating more sugar. It will use up the sugar that you need for energy. The rest of the sugars it can't store as sugar. So it converts into fat and store it up and lock it up. As soon as the insulin is really high, insulin is a fat storing hormone, not only stores and locks it up. So when you are hungry, you want to eat again and again. You eat more sugar and you become fatter and fatter, sicker and sicker. That's how it works. But when you don't give the body these carbohydrates, your body has no choice now. It is forced to learn how to burn fats. Keto means it's a metabolic term. Body is using ketone as a source of energy. Like car can use diesel or petrol or electricity. So also body can use two things. Provided this is low, it can only use ketones or fats then. Once it learns that, then what happens? 90% of your body energy is stored as fat. So it has access to 90% energy that can last easily for 100 days. That's why you see sadhus and sants and people who go on this fast. They fast for weeks together and they don't feel anything. That's because the body has learned to use these fats. And the best part is, when you eat fats, you don't feel hungry all the time, because either the fat that you eat can be burned or the fat that is stored can be burned. You lose appetite. You feel satiated.
and you automatically lose weight because it's burning the fat that's inside. Whereas carbs, you feel hungry all the time. So you want to eat all the time. So you become fatter and fatter and sicker when you eat carbohydrates. That's the idea of lowering your carbohydrates and try to burn fats. So it is very strange. People think if you eat fat, you'll become fat. No, that's wrong. You eat fat, you burn fat. You set a thief to catch a thief. That's the idea. See, the simple thinking that, you eat fat, you'll become sick. It sounds good, but that's not the way the body works, because there is a hormonal influence of insulin on what we eat. Every time you eat carbohydrates, insulin goes up. It's the fat storing hormone. It locks away the fat. It makes you eat more carbohydrates. That's how you become sicker and sicker. Yes, sir. Yeah. Hold it very close to your mouth, sir.
Food recommended. The fruits, majority of the common fruits, what is available, is not recommended. But fruits typically give you fructose, not glucose. That is what doctors keep telling me.
Yes.
So how is it that you have restricted the fruits to such a level? It becomes difficult.
Yes.
Because I'm used to fruits for the last my entire life.
That's right. Yeah, it's a great question. Everybody is surprised. Fruits and vegetables, it's a holy cow. Nobody can question it. It's supposed to be, it's nature's gift to man. Nobody can, say that be careful with these things. You can eat unlimited amount of this. Yes, vegetables we also encourage, especially above ground vegetables. Avoid starchy vegetables like potatoes and sweet potatoes and the rest. All right. But again, a person who's hale and healthy and young and metabolically healthy can eat some amount of fruits. But I must say, the fruits that are available and eaten today are radically different from the fruits that were available 50, 60 years back. I still remember eating an orange, almost this size, eating an apple, even smaller, never tasted sweet. But today, the apple has become 3 times bigger. Today, it's become 3 times sweeter. It is as sweet, or if not sweeter than mango. How did all this happen in the last 50 years? Man has become very intelligent. Man started manipulating with nature. And then these fruits have been hybridized. They've been manipulated with. They've been engineered. I will not say they've been doctored, because that's my profession. I'm sorry to say that this is what's happened to fruit. How come they grow bigger and bigger every year? Nature didn't do it. It is nature made fruits, man manipulated with that fruit, so that it has become bigger and it's got more. See, they want to sell more. The idea of the industry is to sell more and make more profit. They are not interested in your health. So that's why they say it's very sad that we are fed by an industry that is not interested in our health, and we are treated by the health industry that's not interested in our food. This is the problem. Well, what you said is right. The fruit, the very word fruit means fructose. That does not mean it has 100% fructose. It's maybe around 50-55% fructose, and the remaining is glucose. But then, I'm sorry to say that fructose in excess is more dangerous to the body than glucose. Glucose, when you eat, raises your blood sugar, can be measured, and then at least you know that you're a diabetic, and then some treatment will be given. Fructose is like alcohol. How? Alcohol goes directly to the liver. Fructose also cannot be metabolized by any other cell in the body excepting your liver. And when you eat excess of this, I'm not saying only in the form of fruits, but your table sugar. Table sugar ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ that the added sugar, sucrose, that has what is called 50% glucose and 50% fructose. And all your drinks, these fizzy drinks, which children are so happy to have, and we are so happy to provide because it keeps them quiet. But after drinking that, they'll keep jumping because of sugar high. That has 50% fructose. When I was a medical student, if anybody had a fatty liver or a cirrhosis, some liver issues, we blindly said, that was 45 years back, no, this person is an alcohol. Yes. Then we go and, you kuditira? How's sir? ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಕುಡಿತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? 20 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಕುಡಿ. ಹೋಯ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಮ liver ಬಿಡಿ. Because there was no treatment for that, we will tell him to stop taking alcohol. But do you know today, the commonest cause for liver failure and fatty liver and liver transplant is not alcohol. It is non-alcoholic fatty liver. I'm sorry to say, and this non-alcoholic fatty liver is found in children. And who's the cause for that? We parents, because we have fed them with so much of sugar, and mostly it is added sugar. This added sugar, I told you, has 50% fructose, toxic to the liver, and that is the commonest cause. And liver can't handle so much, so it goes into fatty liver, it becomes then cirrhotic, then it can become even malignant. And then the only treatment now is liver transplant, and you know how expensive and how difficult that is. So that's the reason why, one reason why we try to limit your fructose. And fructose is not as good, because if you're not eating all this table sugar, and if you are hale and healthy, you can have some fruits. But if you are trying to reverse your diabetes, that's why we say avoid most of the fruits, excepting extremely low glycemic index fruits like berries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, and avocado. Avocado, earlier we used to say that apple a day keeps the doctor away. Now it is an avocado a day keeps the doctor away. Butter fruit it's called, because it's got so much of healthy fats. So I take one every day. So that's the reason why we say limit or avoid these very topical fruits they call. That's the reason, sir. Yes. Ready, sir. Ready. Yeah. Ready.
See, basically, ultimately in the carbohydrate metabolism, ultimately everything is converted into glucose, fructose, and galactose. Lactose, galactose. Ultimately, what happens at the time of metabolism? The glucose is the main which gives energy to the body. The glucose is the one which is the fuel gives to the body, but the fructose and the galactose, finally it is converted in the liver to the glucose. This is the basic, because most of the people they confuse with the fructose and the galactose and glucose and all that. But ultimately, the thing is converted into glucose by the liver. That's what the sir was telling. The fructose causes fatty liver.
Yes. Dr. Hemant is right. See, that liver is like
Thank
a
you, sir.
magician. Liver is like a magician. It can convert anything to anything. That's what a magician does now. He will pull out a rabbit from the hat, they say. So you eat excess of your carbohydrates or rice or whatever, it will convert the excess into fat and store it. Then you stop eating your carbohydrates, then it will bring back the fat and convert it into glucose. If it does not get that also, it will take out the proteins and convert that into glucose. You eat excess of proteins, it will convert that also into fat. So as he says, the liver can do all these things, but only thing is when it is hurt with excess of anything, especially fructose, it develops fatty liver, causes insulin resistance. And you notice that any and every person who has this fatty liver is a pre-diabetic. That leads on to diabetes. Yeah.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes. Hold it close to your mouth, ma'am. Yes. Yes. For children, you can give some amount of fruits because they are metabolically healthy. But what is dangerous for children is sugar. And after all, when you eat fruit naturally as a whole, right, the amount of sugar in it, as glucose or fructose, is limited, and you eat it along with fibers. So it does not absorb so fast. It's not very dangerous for health. But then when you load them with all these added sugars, like candy bars, like your fizzy drinks, like, and one thing I forgot to tell you is never drink your fruit. Never drink your fruit. We all think a healthy breakfast means bread, toast, cereals, milk, and big glass of orange juice. That's our idea of a very healthy breakfast is. I'm sorry, what you are doing when you make juice or you buy processed juice, ready-made juice, the good in the juice, the fruit has been thrown away, especially the fibers. Sometimes some vitamins and minerals also are thrown away, and you are giving them just a glass of sugar syrup. It is as bad as giving them a glass of whiskey early in the morning, because I told you it goes straight to the liver. And then on, they eat chocolates and they eat cakes and they eat bakery products. Bakery products are having the worst of foods in them. Processed grains, processed sugar, processed oils. One other item I say, when I say processed oils, that means oils that come in these bottles called refined oils, so-called vegetable oils. Actually, there are no vegetables in that. They are made from seeds. After heavy pressure, chemically treating them, adding so many chemicals, they undergo 10 to 15 to 20 processes before it comes out, looking so nice and yellow. This is the greatest harm that can be done to the body, is to consume this kind of oil. That's why when we say eat healthy fats, this is one fat that you need to avoid, because it is so common, it is so cheap. Because I myself, now initially I didn't know what these bottles cost and what's the difference between oils. Now that I'm consuming cold pressed coconut oil, a liter costs 450 rupees, whereas this costs around 200 rupees. And we feel, and doctors, as doctors, we have endorsed it, saying that it's heart healthy. And now it has been found out the majority of the heart attacks causes, we have been using these refined oils for the last 40 to 50 years, which are completely toxic to every organ in the body. So please avoid bakery products, because these are the oils that are used there. Hydrogenated, they are called trans fats. Okay, these fats, they are used in bakery products. Biscuits, they're all used. So processed foods on the whole needs to be avoided, because if you want to snack, you can take nuts, whatever it is, but not biscuits. Regular biscuits are definitely not bakery products. Another unta? Hi. Yeah, I want to introduce you to a couple, Mr. Anil and his wife. I just met them, I think 2-3 days back. You know what? They have, please stand up. Yeah. They have somehow that seen my recording, and they have been recently, sorry if I can say, that detected diabetic. They were worried, very young, 34 and 40 maybe, and they came rushing to Bangalore. Of course, that's their hometown, to see us, only to see what they can do about this diabetes, and they are very much interested in this. So can you imagine what is the effect this diet has, and I'm sure they will not be disappointed. They are already they admitted themselves to this program, and I'm sure they will benefit. Can you say a few words, sir? Hold it very close to your mouth.
First of all, thank you very much, sir. This is really a great initiative that is required now in this world, especially now we are in the chemical era. We are completely spoiling ourselves. Earlier, one of the dialogue I heard just now, apple a day, doctor keep doctor away. Now the stanza is changed. keep avocado a day, keep doctor away.
That's right.
And we started our diet. We are seeing a tremendous changes in our body, and very happy for it. Thank you, sir.
So nice of you. He's from Netherlands. He's come. He works there, both of them. Yes. Any other doubts, queries? Really, sir? No, we will give you that link, sir. It's in that link. One link we have given, no? One QR code. You just take that and you'll have all those, my videos will be there. The science behind it and this recording and what I eat every day, how I cook it, the recipe, where do you get all those things. And today I must announce one of the Mr. Sudarshan is with us. Please stand up, sir, Sudarshan. I'm so happy for Sudarshan because it is his food and his diet that he has come up with, which has helped me to try these things, which has given this benefit. I've been hunting for this food and everybody asks, sir, you are saying eat low carb. Yeah, how do I give up my chapati and idli and those? I said, you can make it out of grains. Where do you get this? This is a fellow who manufactures right in Bangalore. And of course, he's now all India famous. They've got cloud kitchens. He'll not only manufacture the raw material, he'll even supply it to you. Can you say a few words? Please give him.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for giving us the opportunity. So we manufacture low carb foods. We have been, like sir has said, we realized many years back that a lot of the lifestyle diseases in India eventually trace back to the fact that we over-index on the number of carbs that we eat as a diet. And so we wanted to change that, and that became our mission. And we've been working to develop very low carb product lines while maintaining Indian food habits and Indian texture, because that's very important. Like sir said, you can only make a difference when it is part of your everyday food, right? I mean, that's why we did not want to make any exotic food. So we said, okay, what do we all have? Indian atta, snacks. So we built a low carb range of products that are very Indian in nature in terms of taste habits. And there's a lot of research that goes in. In fact, every product is tested extensively. Each ingredient is also tested, and the final blend is also tested. In fact, Vibhuti, our nutritionist, is here, and she's the lead R&D, and she's the one who's developed pretty much every product also. So so all products are tested, and the idea is that we want you to enjoy having Indian food, but with barely any spike in terms of sugar levels. You can test it yourself. We test every single product continuously. So that's really the idea, that we want to bring about a low carb alternatives to regular Indian food.
Thank you, Sudarshan. I think it's a fantastic contribution because however much theory I may talk about, practically, if people can't find the food, it has no benefit, it has no effect. Only question, Sudarshan, I've been having problem is that an atta of regular atta costs 50 rupees, and so here this is 400 rupees. Why is it only for the rich, sir? So now you have to do some research and get down the price so it is available for the common man at his price.
Yeah, actually, in fact, we've just created something, feedback from the customer. In fact, this is one of the products that we created that, so instead of having a separate low carb atta, what we've done is we've created a concentrate. So this is basically, you can add this to your regular home atta, like for example, if you're using an Ashirvad or any other brand. So you can add this as a concentrate. It actually helps you control the sugar levels in the roti or paratha, whatever you're having. It's high on fiber, obviously, but it's also got a lot of other ingredients that are known with diabetes control, like methi powder, jamun powder, karela powder, jackfruit flour. So basically, it's built specifically for diabetics and for people with a sugar control issues. But like sir was saying, not just this, we also have cloud kitchens now across the country. We have almost 15 cloud kitchens across India. We are the largest low carb cloud kitchen company. We provide regular meals also that are all low carb, calibrated, and designed by nutritionists so that it's all low carb all the time. So you cannot always cook at home. So we provide that, and obviously it is under guidance, but you have that as an option from a product perspective also.
Yeah, I'm happy they're a young dynamic group coming out and continuously, improving on the products, trying to reduce the price, making it more friendly and tasty, so that we as Indians, we've got a peculiar taste. The biggest problem is, the problem we hear as Indians is that at least half the population or more are vegetarians. For non-vegetarians, it's rather easy. That's what I feel. I'm a non-vegetarian. My breakfast was about 3 eggs, whatever form, omelette or other, and some coffee. That's enough for me to keep going till 2. But then, what do vegetarians eat? Their breakfast consists of dosa, idli, upma. That's 100% almost carbohydrates. So that needs to be replaced. In foreign countries, they just need to say, okay, go have eggs, have meat, have chicken, have beef, have pork, and they're all 0 carb. But vegetarians is difficult. See, I don't know, one of the reasons why India has, I'm not against vegetarianism or veganism. We are not asking you to change your food habits at all. Within your food habits, you should go low carb. We will tell you how to. Maybe like how you use the atta mix, which is low carb. It doesn't should spike your sugars. That's the idea. So, but since we as Indians, most of us eat 60–70% of our energy comes from carbohydrates. No wonder we are the leading cause for heart attacks, Indians. Leading as far as diabetes is concerned. It's all because of this increased amount of carbohydrate consumption. You might say this has been going on for ages. Why suddenly now? Why suddenly now is that not only are carbohydrates high in our food, but we have added sugar to it. I remember 40–50 years back, how often I used to eat sweets. Once in a way, I go for a wedding, paisa, holge. Dina, illi, birthday adre, sweets, pass adre sweet, anniversary sweet, success, everything is celebrated. So you come to your office, every day, 150 people there, somebody's birthday, he'll give you cake, he'll give you biscuits. So our sugar levels have gone up by 400% easily. The WHO recommended white sugar, that is added sugar, is 6 teaspoons a day. And our average consumption of this white sugar is 26 teaspoons a day. That is 400% more than what is recommended. It was not there 50 years ago. So that's why our grandfathers could get away with the excess of rice and all. And moreover, they used to work in the fields morning to evening. Now we eat not only carbs, we eat not only sugar, but we sit all the time. That's the difference between the previous generation and this generation. That's why we are becoming sicker and sicker. That's why diabetes has gone up by 400% in the last 4 decades. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Good morning, sir. My question has 2 parts.
Yeah.
There's a new concept called OMAD these days,
Yes.
1 meal a day.
Yes.
And if I'm used to 18 to 19 hours of fasting and I do OMAD, and how does that help your body? And if it helps your body, I'm anyway going to eat once a day. Can I eat anything that I want to eat, or I should still follow LCHF?
This OMAD is 1 meal a day. That's called intermittent fasting. You must have all read about it. Very, very beneficial. And I also follow it. Easiest way is to have an early dinner and late breakfast. So anyway, in the night you don't eat much. So easily you get 14 to 16 hours of non-eating period, during which time the body does a lot of repair work, regeneration, autophagy, and becomes insulin sensitive. Your insulin level comes down, your sugar level comes down. So this 1 meal a day, or sometimes they fast 24 hours, sometimes 48 hours. Fasting is a fantastic ritual. Actually, it is advised by every religion. Every religion follows this during some part of the year. Maybe our forefathers knew that fasting is extremely healthy, and that's the main effect of fasting. Although they have given it religious overtones, that's okay. But anyway, since you are going to be healthy, I recommend it. Fasting or intermittent fasting, you can read about it. See, the whole problem is whatever I've said, you don't have to take it on face value. I want you to do your own due diligence. I want you to do your own research. Then only, it gets absorbed. Then only your subconscious mind will accept it. So don't take that, Okay, doctor has said it must be the gospel truth. Do your own research. Luckily today, you have any information at the click of a button at your fingertip. Why don't you all do it? Everybody has a smartphone. That means you have the whole world in your pocket. Read about it. Intermittent fasting and OMD and the rest. And you'll see the benefits. And then you will get hooked onto it. That's what I got hooked onto it. And then the other question is, says, since I'm having 1 meal a day, can I eat whatever I? If if you are young and healthy like you, not whatever you want, limit your sugars. If you are metabolically healthy, okay, you can eat some amount of grains, you can eat some amount of fruits and all the rest. Definitely sugars you need to cut down. I don't say totally get rid of, but if you are metabolically ill, there's no question of having extra sugar. But then, if not, if you are already overweight, if you are already having some family member with diabetes, that means you are genetically prone. If you are already a pre-diabetic, if you're already a diabetic and you don't want to become a diabetic, you cannot eat what you want. We know what are the foods that cause this problem, and it is not going to cause it overnight. As I've shown you, as you see this, I've just kept it there. These things take 5, 10, 15, 20 years to show up. So statistically, every person sitting here is in one of these stages. So we have to be careful. We know what is not good. We know sugar is poison. Sugar is toxic. Sugar is addictive. That's why I tell you, be careful with children. Sugar is the root cause of all evil on this earth. Sugar, if you see directly or indirectly, has killed more people in this century alone when compared to all the world wars in the last century. That's how bad sugar is. And because it is slow poison, nobody realizes it. If it was, acute like Corona, for Corona, the whole world went on its knees. It locked the whole world up. And what's the death? I told you. The total number of people that died in 2 years is less than what this sugar and diabetes kills in 1 year. Nobody is bothered. That's the truth. Yes. Yeah, you can give them a mic, and in case they want to add anything. There's no question. Yeah, yes, there's somebody there. We don't want to hold you up too long. Yes. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Just hold it close to your this thing, madam. It's on. Yeah. Hold it very close to your mouth and then speak.
Am I audible? The question I have is, say I'm following a LCHF diet, I follow it regularly, I eat less carbs for an extended period of time, like maybe one meal or once in a time, I say, okay, I'm healthy, I can eat something like grains or foods. And what happens is I become extremely tired after that. Like it's almost like my body has stopped realizing how to digest it. And I become tired and I need to sleep. And why does this happen?
Yes, I understand, madam. Good that you're following a low carb diet, but they call what's called a cheat day. Can I have a cheat day, or once in a way this party, can I have it? Once in a way, I don't say that you should never do it, and especially if you're hale and healthy. But then what happens metabolically, physiologically? See, once I told you, this body takes some time to change flexibility. Metabolic flexibility is called sugar burning, fat burning. So you go low carb, body is used to your fat burning. Your sugar burning level comes down. So when you suddenly, after a week or 10 days, you eat excessive, say, cake or excessive grains and all that, body is not immediately prepared to handle that. Sugar shoots up very high. I'm telling you, since I've been on a low carb for a year or so now, even if I eat a banana, my sugar will double because the body can't handle that, because it's been, banana people think it's very safe, and even doctors ask you to eat. I just want to tell you, can I have this slide, this thing here? Hi. Show you a slide. Just look at this. One bowl of white rice has got more than 10 teaspoons of sugar. Just one bowl of white rice. We think it's harmless because it doesn't taste sweet. We think it's okay. This is what's been analyzed. Look at the banana. It's got 3 or 4 teaspoons of sugar. And I don't know if you are aware, friends, the total amount of sugar in your body, in the 5 liters of blood that you have, is just 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon. So, Hagandre, every time you eat a bowl of rice, you are putting into the body 10 times more sugar, which needs to be thrown out at the earliest. This is the amount of stress the body goes through when you have a bowl of rice. I'm not talking about sugar now. I'm just telling you bowl of rice. Even banana has more than 10 grams of sugar, which is twice the amount the body can handle. So this is the problem. So what happens when, as she has mentioned, when you eat these carbs suddenly, sugar goes up, insulin also spikes, it brings down the sugar, and there is a sugar crash. When there's a sugar crash, again you feel weak and drowsy and no energy. That is the reason. Then that's the time, body is saying, eat more, eat more, eat more, your sugar is going down. Then you eat more again, then sugar goes up, insulin goes up, again sugar comes down. So when you eat carbohydrates, you have this roller coaster. And this roller coaster is not good for the body. Whereas if you eat fats, you do not have, it has no effect on your blood sugar. So you have constant energy, which is very healthy. That's the idea. Anything else?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So Mondays generally I'll be in a fast. And none understanding prakara, fruits can be eaten. Mondays I'll be on a fast, I'll not eat anything. Only I'll be on a fruits. Like I'll take full fruits in a good quantity. Apple and everything, whatever it is. Now, am I doing good for that in a way?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying that everybody must get away from fruits. There's a caveat, as I told you, even from grains. If you are young, if you are healthy, if you are metabolically healthy, and then if you're fasting that day, definitely you can have some amount of fruits. There is no doubt, because that can be handled. Number one culprit is not fruits, is sugar. Your table sugar, your added sugar, the sugary drinks are all having 50% fructose. Whereas if you have a healthy fruit, if you eat the healthy fruit as a fruit and not as a juice, you are taking a lot of vitamins and minerals and most important fibers, which is very healthy. So you can have some amount of fruits. Only I said that if you are a diabetic, you are trying to reverse it, then you have to be very careful of organic fruits because that will spike. But if you are hale and healthy, you can have some amount. Yes. Is it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, some of our viewers
are.
Yeah, some of our viewers are connected via Facebook and YouTube. So there's a person who wants to know about your take on millets as part of the diet.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say that millets have been shown, told by people who are diabetics, you can have millets. Maybe when compared to white rice and wheat and, these polished grains, is healthier. But millet is a grain. Millet, when broken down into the body, will go as glucose. And moreover, I have told earlier that I use a continuous glucose monitor. I have tried these things. Even if I eat a millet meal, my sugar will spike because I am a diabetic. For a regular person who's not a diabetic, hale and healthy, definitely millets are better than white rice, but not for a diabetic or a person who wants to reverse diabetes.
Another question that one of the viewers is asking is, how do they avail facilities of the RDC clinic from outside of Bangalore?
Well, sorry to say that we have not started outside of Bangalore, but since there is so much of demand, we are planning to go online. May take a little time, but Professor Krishnappa and his team, they are working very hard at it. how to make an app and how to have it online, because it's not a very difficult thing. There are a lot of startups and a lot of companies who have gone online. We thought to have a bigger reach and people from outside who can connect with us. We will soon launch an online program. Yeah, that's true. We have people who have come from Netherlands. Orissa, yeah. We have people from Delhi. Amazing result. Mike, good. Yeah, Kirti, Dr. Kirti is the head physician.
And we are getting patients from all over India. Maybe first visit, they come here, they learn more about the diet. Once they go back home, they reach us through WhatsApp or online, they reach our team and they take advice and they follow the diet. And the results have been significantly fantastic actually. And they are happy to continue the diet. So the result, what Dr. Bhujang Shetty showed, even those patients included in this thing. The only thing what I advise among our Indian diabetic patients, we have around 78 million diabetic patients in India. And most of them, out of 78 millions, around 80% of the patients, even though they are on a medication, follow up with the doctors, their sugars are not under control. Only 20% of the patients among Indian diabetic patients, their sugars are under control, that is less than 7%. The only culprit for all those things is the diet, what we are consuming. They only keep on, even when you go back to your doctor, we keep on adding. Even I practice diabetes, I've been practicing diabetes for 15 years. When the patient used to come back to us, even the sugars are not under control, we keep on adding medications, That is never ending, it will go on. And once the tablets are not helping out, we add them on insulin, 1 time insulin, 2 times insulin a day. So maybe 4 or 5 shots patient takes insulin. But once Sir showed us this, when I started practicing among my patients, we have seen fantastic results. The medication requirement will drastically come down once they follow this LCHF diet. So I advise and I request all our diabetic patients to come forward, follow this diet, try it on yourself. So probably you can only reduce your medication. It's not a rocket science. It's just a basic thing. Learn about your food habit. You'll be your own doctor. For most of my patients, I say, see, just learn about your food, what you eat, when your sugar peaks up after eating what food. So if you know that, you'll be a doctor. You may need not to come from next visit. Once few of my patients, like, they're totally off medication. I say, you're your doctor, you don't have to come to me, just follow the diet. They say, with your guidance, we have read this. So probably a few of our patients have given a testimony who have seen a successful results. It's on a YouTube channel, so probably you guys can watch it. So only thing is learn your diet, what you're eating. So being taught wrong all these days, you're munching on carbohydrates. Once you cut down, it's not only for diabetic, so probably pre-diabetics or healthy individual to manage weight. So just this diet works like anything. So I urge or request everyone to follow this. Try it on yourself, you'll see the results.
Friends, I'm an example for all these things. So when I met Dr. Bhujang Shetty sir, then we started exchanging our views. I am the real living example of so many things. So actually, when my patients come there, I take a lot and explain them what is happening. When I say that I'm 76 years old, they don't believe. This food, it's a dramatic. It not only reduces the diabetic, but it also makes you youthful, energetic, cheerful, and enjoyable. See, that is the secret of it. See, the vision is much more. We want to have this as a lifestyle, entirely holistic health. This is called not only for reversing diabetics. I myself have enjoyed. I'm enjoying it. That it's completely a entire lifestyle change and a full enjoyable health. So all of them I've seen them, and I'm thankful to them that they are following. They're very enthusiastic, and several of them are here. And please follow it. And for online patients, for the patients who are outside, that's why we are developing this YouTube and Facebook Twitter, Instagram, all are there. They're accessing. Now there are more than 8 lakh followers are there. They are not only from India, they are from all over the world. So they are the best examples. And through this app also we are going to reach out. So the one thing is adjustment. You can go in for the body, as sir said, is very, very intelligent. It knows how to change, and especially the liver. Now what will happen is the adjustment phase is there, acceleration phase is there. So if you want to reverse the diabetic, these are the things which you have to undergo. You have to be very careful during the adjustment stage and acceleration stage. If you change the diet, like some people are telling that millets are also healthy, fruits are also healthy, everything is healthy. There's no non-healthy. But the way of foods available, contaminated foods, the genetically engineered fruits, genetically engineered modified foods, all these are creating a problem. So the idea is to keep the carbohydrates low, that's all. And the body, once it starts burning the fats, as I was telling yesterday, one of my patients, earlier we had diesel cars, the carts, bullock drawn carts. Now they went for petrol cars. Then they went for diesel cars. Now they are going for electric cars. Then tomorrow we don't know what they will come up with. They may come up with air cars or water cars. So like that, the body will start. This only question is energy. From where we getting the energy, that is a different issue. Now we are providing the energy through carbohydrates. Now the main mechanism is you alter that. Reduce the carbohydrates, provide the, instead of diesel, you provide the petrol. Instead of petrol, you provide the electricity. Instead of petrol, you provide something else. So the engine runs, the body also runs. Now we have to make the body to adjust to the fats and throw away the carbohydrates. That is the only secret. It's a very simple one, and I am glad that most of you are following and enjoying it. And within 15 days, I am seeing people who are enjoying this and coming back to us, sir, we are having a dramatic change. I myself have thrown away medicines in 5 days. That's my experience. So that's what I'm sharing. So we can go on like this, and I'll be very pleased to answer if some of the questions are there.
First of all, we are extremely obliged to our chairman for introducing something which is, to my mind, extremely revolutionary in nature, because it is something which actually takes us away from the sick care to the real health care. My rendezvous with the healthcare, so-called healthcare, started in the year 2013 when I was posted to Command Hospital, and I found I thought my heart lies into it, but then, yeah, it took some time. Maybe that's the destiny that, I thought, but I was always associated with the sick care. But then chairman has again brought me to another inflection point. He's shown me what is real healthcare. To my mind, this diabetes reversal program, from a very practical perspective, I'm saying, I'll quote some examples, is not about reversing diabetes alone. I think it's reversing all your problems. And that also includes probably reversing your ACE. I've seen my own chairman. Somewhere in between, I found him going a little away from the hospital, but I find after he started this program, he's coming back to the hospital more and more. Dr. Professor Krishnappa, who can say he's 75? Sorry for disclosing your age, but he's more, I'm 63, but I think I find he's more energetic than me. We are a huge organization, Narayana Nethralaya. I deal with, more than about 2,000 people. Apart from patients, I'm saying my own team. We have people who have been having this problem, both at the young and at the senior. I would not like to take names, but there were people who had this diabetes problem, but then, when I was talking to them, I found they're not as attentive, or probably, because they were taking so much of medicines, and in fact, they would doze off and things like this, right? Okay. But after they went onto this program, I find they're more energetic than me. I see the transformation in them, right? I never seen them dozing off. I never see, I mean, I find them, they're always active. They're taking in so much of work on day-to-day basis, right? Chitra is here. She is not diabetic. But yes, she had lifestyle issues, you know. She went into this program. Every day she sends me, you know, she writes poems now, you know, and she was telling me that, you know, she feels so happy, you know, that despite she's got a very heavy work at the hospital, still she finds time to do so many other things. When she goes home, her energy levels have gone up. She's feeling happier, you know. So I think this diabetes reversal program, to my mind, like the chairman said, it's like a magic. It can do magical things to us, right? Okay. I have not been following this, you know, not I maybe I'm pre-diabetic, I've not checked up, but then yes, my, you know, I'm not in that stage, but I have my belly fats and things like this. So very lately, I have also switched over, thanks to that we started this food in a hospital also. I've started to this, I'm slowly changing over, making a transition from what I was eating earlier to this diet. And I myself see a lot of changes in myself, right? Both at the physical level and at the mental level. So I think let's get into this, whether we are diabetic or we are not diabetic. Let's live a healthy lifestyle and let's take this message forward for each one. If you really love your family, you love your friends, I think we're going to take this message across to each and everyone. Thank you.
Is any more? There are any more questions? We'll wind up. Yeah, somebody there. It's not there.
So first of all, I want to congratulate the whole RDC team. I mean, it's been an amazing journey for them. Touching 1,800 lives is not easy. So congratulations to all of them. Secondly, sir, whether someone is on diabetes, on reversal diabetes program or the weight loss program, what about the supplements, sir? Do they need to, because a lot of food you're cutting it out. The vitamins and other things are literally deficient.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on supplements?
Definitely, before starting them on this diet, we routinely test their bloods. A few things they need to check is their vitamin D, vitamin B12. They are deficient. Actually, overall, most of the people we have noticed are little deficient, whether they are vegetarians or vegans or non-vegetarians, that they are having this deficiency. So next time you have a blood test, have a vitamin B12 and vitamin D test. If they are deficient, kindly supplement these things. Some of the diets, of course, it's not too restrictive as far as non-vegetarians are concerned, but as when vegetarians are concerned and vegans are concerned, some amount of problems could be there. They would need some supplement. Definitely, they need to check and take if necessary. So, if you have no more questions, I just want to show this article. See, the whole problem is we have demonized fats for the last 40, 50 years. We says fat causes fat, you become fat, you get heart issues and you get strokes. So they said, don't eat saturated fats, don't eat cholesterol. You will reduce the total amount of fats. So when you reduce something, automatically you increase something else. And that's what happened 50 years back. They said low fat or no fat, and all products, wherever you go, you see now. Oh, that I think that's one of the monumental mistakes medical team has done. I'm sorry to say that we have demonized fats and we have glorified carbohydrates, and of course not sugar. Sugars, they have been always saying eat less, but automatically in processed foods, sugars are hidden everywhere. So what I'm trying to say is healthy fats, that is, if it is not refined in those bottles that you get refined oils, or trans fats, what's used in bakery and all your cakes and all that, if you can avoid these fats, You can use coconut oil or groundnut oil, which is cold pressed, which is not refined any amount. You could use butter, ghee, and the rest. They are not dangerous. There is some studies to show that. And the American Heart Association itself has made a U-turn, saying that saturated fats and cholesterol has nothing to do with heart diseases. The CEO of American Diabetic Association follows a low-carb diet. Although officially they have not come out to say that, everybody should go low-carb. We are waiting for that day, but that is the fact. When I ask a person to take, if he's a vegetarian, non-vegetarian, or vegetarian, to have 2, 3, 4 eggs every day, so what do I do with the yellow? Because it's gone into our brain that yellow is dangerous. I tell them you can throw out the white, but eat the yellow. That is the understanding today. Can we have milk? I said, yes, you can have milk, but definitely not skimmed milk. Because that's what we've been advised. Remove the fat from the milk, then the carbohydrate portion increases, then all problems are started. Have full fat milk. You'll enjoy it and you'll have better health. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Yes, doctor. Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, I'd like to place on record.
Introduce yourself, sir.
I am Dr. M.A. Shankar, former Director of Research with University of Physical Sciences. And sir, we are indebted to you for the excellent program for the benefit of human mankind you are doing, especially the RDC. Perhaps it's a novel approach. Many of us do not know. In the era of pharmaceutical competition, in relation to pumping the business of pharmaceuticals, especially in relation to the steroids and non-steroid drugs, and also especially the cholesterol reducing drugs. It's a big mafia between reservoirs and non-reservoirs chemicals. Especially if you say, if you have 200, you say, my cholesterol is very high, let me put on to the reservoirs. Immediately they put on to the statins, which is having a direct link on your kidney and liver problems. So you have done an excellent work, sir. And your team, I should like to place on record. And also Dr. K. Krishnappa, he was also my teacher in the University of Physical Sciences. He is a great pathologist in the field of nematology and virology, especially the bunchy top of banana management. Sir, today's era, almost all the foods are deficient in nutrients. People do not know. Today, that self-induced disease linking your warm water is better than drinking your what we call RO water, because you are removing the calcium and magnesium. Warm it. The same water, what you are getting is bisimade. Bisnir kudiyodrinda yenu tondre agala. So we are trying, we introduce ourselves, putting the full shirt. I have come because just to have this AC, I doesn't like it. So we are not exposing our body to the sun, where we are not getting the deficient vitamin D. This is not required for Indian conditions. So this diabetic is a induced disease to the shingles. So sir, I place on record our heartfelt thanks to you for organizing. I hope this is the first step you have taken. It would reach the billions and billions of people where the need of this technology, especially the low carbohydrate. I request that the team, if it would come out with what is the quantity of low carbohydrate they could take, the average weight of man. See, we are given in standards, I agree. But what is the weight of a low carbohydrate food we should take in the morning or in the evening? For example, one of the gentlemen was mentioning that fasting. Fasting is not a new thing. It is there from last centuries, billions of years. But how much we should do the fasting? Especially on Thursday, many people do. So immediately after fasting, they release their fasting with the heavy food of sugar. So this type of innovative research needs to be taken up. When you release the fasting, you take heavy intake of your sugar so that you can make up that loss. So such issues are needed. See, for example, some of the proteins, what you have mentioned, for example, the people who have high uric acid. The moment when they take high protein, how to compensate this protein in vegetable protein source? When the uric acid is very high, they are not supposed to take this red meat and also even the egg.
the protein which creates a problem. So we have to come out with many of the recommendations, and especially as you mentioned, sir, magnesium, vitamin D, and calcium play a pivotal role in managing these arteries. Sir. So we are really beholden to you. We pray God that God give you all the strength to make this program a much more a grand success. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Shankar.
Thank you.
We have a
There's just one testimonial that has come on our YouTube live link. So he's our patient, Mr. Debashish Naik, and he says that he started his diet as per the plan provided, and within 5 days he was able to be off insulin, and in a month his medicine dose has reduced. So he says it is science and not miracle, and he's extremely thankful to the whole team. So I think that requires a huge round of applause for the whole team who's touching people's lives positively.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. And going back to Dr. Shankar's question regarding your carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, this low carb diet is a well formulated, well balanced diet. Actually, it says your carbohydrates must be around maybe 50 grams totally in a day. Okay, that is net carbs. Or it could be around 10% of a total energy intake. As of now, official guideline says 50%. We say take it 10% or lower. That's carbohydrate. Protein, we always say protein is essential, not a very high protein diet. Low carb diet is not a very high protein diet. It's a moderate protein diet. That means 20 to 25% of your energy must come from proteins. And the remaining, whatever you require, comes from healthy fats. For everything, there's a caveat. You just can't eat from morning to evening some fried chicken and say, well, I am on a low carb diet. It must be healthy fats, the remaining. So when this happens, including uric acid, including your blood creatinine will come down. That's my experience. So thank you, everybody. So we hope to meet once a month. Let's see. If there's any feedback, you could always write to us. And thank you so much for your presence, for your time. Good day. Thank you.
Thank you. There is food tasting outside. There's a counter outside. I'm sure all of you can try that as well.